like to thank you for being aware of my simulation. Um, I'm here today looking for $10 million for 20% stake or a $50 million line of credit. Wait, no, it's $10 million line of credit with up to 4 additional full payoffs for 45% interest in my company, and final option of 240 million people worldwide paying me, us, the business, $25 a month in ownership chairman contributions. Um, have you ever wondered when it started? Like, just had the Independence Day the other day, and like, you ever think about like when it started, the idea of America, or like the other big one that we have in this country is religion. Like, when did Jesus become Jesus? Like, when he was born, and then there was a whole bunch of shit in the middle, and then he started doing shit. So like, when was that moment? Um, and if you ever had one of those moments, what would you do? Well, this is how we're going to find out. Um, I'm presenting the third place initiative. Um, it is a 4 spear attack, or a 4 pillar infrastructure designed to find a cohesive, synergistic way to create perpetual momentum for the saving of society. Um, the third place initiative, uh, who wants to enslave some white people? Um, that's that's racist. Actually, we don't really care what color you are. We need all the people we can get. So who wants to enslave everyone? Um, if that doesn't, if that sounds a little aggressive. Um, the more politically correct one we probably should go with is probably going to be, who wants to help a sink, find some sinks, to build some sinks, so the country doesn't sink. That's the other one. Fuck, I forgot the third one. That's why it's rehearsal, boys. Forgot the third one. I made a long way. Um, Fuck the third one. In any event, so answering the first questions that I think people will ask is, Shark Tank people always give, oh, I want X and for Y. And I think of this like, I'm not a business person. I suck at business because I don't understand the concept of money. And that is the fundamental flaw that I'm trying to fix with the third place initiative. Oh, that's what it was. The third place initiative, where we provide an experience for an exchange of value. Uh, Fuck, I should have wrote it down. That was a weird ominous one. Third place experience, where we exchange value for your experience without money. We exchange value for your experience so money can survive. I need to work on that. That needs to, but that's what it is. That I had a better one in my head. Um, so, so the third place experience, where we exchange value for the experience so money can survive. Who wants to enslave some white people? I'm working the time. Who wants to enslave some white people? We're actually more inclusive than that. We'll take any color that we can get. Um, we take all colors. We need all the people we can get. Who wants to enslave some white people? Yeah, need to work on that. So yeah, this is actually legitimate. So this is a real thing. I actually am trying to start it. It is a 4-pillar experiment to help uh, allow a reset for uh, for society. The fundamental flaw in society today is that people don't understand value. Uh, Everything is value is determined by money, but money doesn't have a meaning anymore. The only thing of value that anybody has is time. So we need to create a parallel system that allows time to equal value, and then we need to have a value equal time. And since $25 an hour seems to be what everybody wants to make minimum wage in this make believe hypothetical real world society, um, yeah, that's how it would be. Um, Now, common first questions that I think people will ask if they ever listen to this, like why the three tiers? Well, I'm not a very savvy business person, but when I did run a business, I failed at every single one of them. One of them was the good, better, best approach. Um, I'm not really looking for, um, not really looking for money. Like I need money to make this work, but the people that I've tagged in this are 4 people that exhibit like a quality that I would like to mimic. So, like, I would far rather have 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes of time to like get advice than any dollar amount. Um, I don't think that's included. So basically, what this is the 4 pillars that we are operating under to build a parallel society are going to be government, competition, art, and information. This is the information arm of that. Uh, what the online streaming platform is going to be, uh, like this is where we explain the jokes. Where did we get the information? Why do we think this way? I think art is the most important thing to the experiment. The most important pillar to the experience is art, because that's the only one that's flexible enough for perspective. Um, and based on where you sit on the art position depends on how the government. Uh, this did not go well at all. Like this is supposed to be rehearsal, dude. You're fucking mansplaining everything. Um, why did I make a comedy church? I think that's a question. I think art is the most important pillar. I think it's also the most understood. Anything that is not government, which is the government is made up of religion and science, to which I've invented a new version of math and religion, um, and thus that should create a new form of science that we can all argue about, um, because science is just a matter of determining problems and experiences. Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff. Um, you're gonna bomb a lot because there's a lot of background. Um, there's a lot of things that you need to know before you, there's a lot of prerequisites that you need to have before we can get on the ride. um, and comedy, I think, is the purest form of art, which is why I just came up with a line and that I think I need to turn into a joke that is like comedy. And I don't think I'm the first one to say any of this shit. So if you've ever heard it from somebody else, I'd love to hear it. But if you haven't, cool. I'm pretty sure somebody else has thought of all this stuff. And yeah, that's my disclaimer for all of this stuff because Cat Williams just watched a Cat Williams joke that he made about enslaving white people, and I was just working on like the opening to the. I was working on the opening to the bit, and getting to enslaving white people to make the third place happen is kind of what it is. So like a lot of what I think ends up being already out there, um, and that's why I think information is the most valuable thing, which is why it should be as free as possible and as transparent as possible. I am running for president, and I did on last Monday declare the Declaration of Redependence. I've been running for president for about a year now. It is going awfully, mostly because I'm not doing anything. I'm a very potential person. Um, what that means is I have a lot of potential. I was one of those kids where everything I did was, if you only lived up to your potential, if you only lived up to your potential. And I like being a potential person because to be a kinetic person means that you have an end to, and that's the interesting, like, philosophic, like, need it. These are all funny. Like, I'm funny. I'm funny. The me that I'm trying to like pull the brakes off of is funny. And I don't think we, which is myself, the version of myself that I am prepared to show you, plus the version of myself that I think you can handle. Um, the the simple Sean is the name of that person that I'm willing to, like, I want to show you, right? Like Sean, whatever my parents gave me, that's the me. Like I know there's a lot of me and I'm a lot. And I genuinely believe that this is the start of something for multiple philosophical reasons. I think it, like, we put limits on ourselves, and like if you think about how it has to start, like somebody has to just start rambling bullshit out, like to take down the two most divisive things. This is a joke that I'm working on, as my as the black drunk friend in my head would say. Um, why would you play the game where you know that they're fucking you when you could create a game for them to play where you're playing them? That's not right. It works. I said it better in my head, but like if you think about it, we're sitting here trying to play. This is where everybody thinks it's like a cult, dude. It kind of is, I guess. If you think of it, we need to create a parallel system where, like DNA strands, where we don't necessarily need each other, but every once in a while we got to come together. And value, we're so large now where the differences that we have in value are too much to overcome without a drastic shift in something. And we we say mental health is important, but we don't take into account the psyche of the people that we're trying to be mentally healthy for. Um, there's an entire class of people like myself who would like to Uber their life away. Um, and what I mean by that is like, I want to make up my mind 5 minutes in advance. And why can't we? Like, there's a big word out there called universal basic income. I think all of this aligns, and I think all of this, if put together in the right order, is hilarious. So, um, what I want to do, like, if anybody ever were to invest in this, I would like to, like, I think I go to an open mic night here in Chandler, and like one of the jokes that I'm trying to get into is like, the reason why this is happening is because of the MC is a fucking, I think it's terrible at his job. Um, like I've gone there a handful of times, and not that the criticism is wrong, but he always says two things to me. He says, one, take take your hood off, which wearing the hood is a meaningful thing beyond, like, there's a lot of shit going on that you're not, like, I want you to become aware of over time, but you're not aware of. I think they're called Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs going on, and you might pick them up and you might not. But eventually, I hope that I put this into order where, like, I come back and point at all the Easter eggs and do it in a manner that's less than 4 minutes, because I think they only give me 4 minutes on stage, which is kind of wild. So yeah, yeah, I think the guy's terrible because he always says those two things, like take your hood off, and if you ever had a punchline, you could be good at this. Now, the me myself, like Sean, um, is offended by that. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like in my mind, like the romantic version of myself, I'm thinking like we're gonna come to this open mic night, and I'm gonna suck. I know I'm gonna suck, and it did terrible. Like I think my first joke ended up with like dicks covered in corn shit. Uh, it was not good, and I definitely should not have done that. Uh, and nobody got the punchline, and that's when I started to realize like I shouldn't be doing this. Um, all of this has been done because a presidential campaign is expensive. Um, but open mic nights are cheap. So what the fuck? Uh, yeah, we get the same amount of traction either way. At least this way I can have some fun. I'm not limited into anything. Say whatever I want to, because you know what? It's all fucking joke. And if it ends up being real, that's the long joke. That's the type of comedy that I'm doing. It's like it's not the comedy that's gonna make you laugh when it happens. Like it's not a punchline. It's a caress line. I do caress lines where you don't understand what's it's like the lines that you hear from old people. Um, like one that I tell people that took me a long time. Like I said it for a long time, but it took me a long time to figure out was if you're having a bad day, it's because you made bad choices. So make better choices. Like I said it for a long time just because like I was a victim blamer. I'm a victim blamer, but it's like see, like this is a joke that I want to do. I want to be able to say that it's funny, but it's gonna suck for a really long time. And like rape is not something you're supposed to joke about. But like nowadays, everybody's saying they got sexually assaulted by somebody, and it happens so often that I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? Like I blame, like this is not a joke that's new to anybody. Like there's a bunch of people that do this a bit, but like this is genuinely a bitch that I have. Like it's happened so often. I'm like, how did you not know that? Like Bill Cosby literally was on TV telling kids, don't go home with strangers, don't go home with people that you don't know, don't take drinks from people that you don't know, etc., etc., etc. And then all these girls are like, yeah, I met him for like the first time, or I met him for a week ago, and then go home with him and take a fucking drink with him. Motherfucker, he warned you that this is what was going to happen. You didn't know him. So, like, you didn't fucking listen. Is that a horrible thing to say? It is a horrible thing to say, but like, you had a part, played a part in the shitty thing that happened to you on some level. Like, that's what I always thought that meant. So, like, take be accountable. Be accountable. That's the words that everybody uses. Be accountable. So, like the insurance company, if you're sitting at a red light and some fucking drunk asshole comes in and plows you through the intersection, and then a fucking monster truck T-bones you, and you're in hospital for a long time, the insurance company is going to say, here's your check. It's 40% less because 40%, you're 40% responsible. That 40% responsibility is because you were just fucking driving like a normal person. If you hadn't been driving like a normal person, you wouldn't have fucking been there. So it's kind of your fault. So I kind of think like that. And that's what I used to think about. I was like, 40% is a lot of your fault. Like, it's mostly your fault at 40%. Yeah, there's 60%, but like 20% is like shit that you don't even fucking know about. So, like, it's mostly your fault if that's the case. And so that's what I used to think, that if you're having a bad day, it's because you made bad choices. Like, choose to drive differently. You should chose to drive differently. Like, that choice was the choice that you had to make. You made the choice. So no matter what off the wall shit happened, you made the choice. Like, I thought that's what that meant. But then I got stoned and I found God, and I came to realize that it doesn't mean that the action that you take is what you're responsible for. The reaction to the reaction of the action is what matters. So, for example, the action that you take is you're sitting at a traffic light and you minding your own business, and some asshole slams into the back of you and right into an intersection, and then a monster truck comes across and T-bones you, and you're in intensive care for 6 months, and the insurance company goes, oh, we're not going to pay you. We're going to pay you your payout less than 40% because the accident's 40% your fault. The choice is not to care about how much money the insurance company gives you. Because if you're saying that the money can make you whole, then you're saying that money is the only thing that matters. But if you change your philosophy of like, oh, money doesn't really matter, how much time do I have? How much time is it going to take me to heal? That, I think, was more valuable than insurance money. That's a funny joke. If I could get it to work in the long run, and I got a lot of shit to work on with that one, but that one kind of flowed the way I thought it was going to go. And I think this is all I'm going to do for like my fucking entire stand-up thing. I do need to get in. I need to get in, like, legitimately. Like, I'm trying to create a god, like create a religion. I did create a religion, It's called the spirit. It's called the Wow religion for a couple of reasons. One, when you hear the philosophy of it, you hear a lot of the things that there's a lot of places you go in this religion. You get there and you're kind of like, wow, wow, wow. And that's kind of the comedy that I have is that long, sprawling comedy where you're not going to be really laughing because it's funny, laughing because it's sad. You laugh because it's uncomfortable that what I'm describing is actually happening. And that is what comedy is. Um, comedy is God's therapy. We are all God. We are all wrong. God is incorrect sometimes. That's what WOW stands for. WAAW. We are always wrong. We are all wrong. Not always wrong. We are all wrong. And in the spirit of WOW is usually when I say stuff that is wildly erratic. I never fucking posted this, did I? Yeah, wildly erratic is fair, I think. Um, I I have a lot of nonsense that oh, that didn't work. I have a lot of nonsense that I say. Like I have a quote in my X account that says I say a lot of stupid shit. The best part about it is figuring out which one of us is stupid. And that one I think is funny too. I gotta work on. Um, oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's dumb. To rewrite my post now. Oh, that sucks. All these things are awesome. But whatever. I gotta fucking retype this thing because I fucked it up. But in any event, I'll do it later. Um, yeah, so it's we are all wrong, and I think and the only two reasons the only it's there's a whole joke behind making it like creating a new taking care of the four pillars of mm, fuck the four pillars uh, of of the third place initiative are government, which is science and religion, competition, which is government, and sports. I don't think my thing is working. Okay, there we go. Um, we can do this. I'm really kind of pissed that I have to repost this. Fuckers. Um, yeah, so that's so we have. Mm, um, where was I at? How long have I been on for? maybe we end there. Yeah, so we'll explain it. So when you're trying to build the parallels, when you ask yourself, what would you do if you were at the beginning where you set up a good plan? And when you look at all the systems of the world, they all have 4 points or 4 pillars or four nuclei that's the most stable one that you get. Uh, and excuse me, that's the most stable one you get, and the opposite ones rotate around, whatever. We'll get into that. That's the kinetic part of the process. But to find the most stable, you have to find the 4 things that are most important. We'll say important, most powerful, the most powerful thing in the system, and the most powerful things in the system are often the most simplest but complex parts of the system, right? Over explain the shit out of that, but fuck it. So the 4 parts of society are going to be government and competition. Those are your north and south poles. And then art and information. And those are your east and west poles. East and west poles. East and west poles. East and west poles. Which is when all work together, you make a gyroscope, and then you get the Earth. For lack of a better reasoning of that. But in my mind, that's how it all works. And if you pick the 4 poles that make society, the big sphere, the big Earth, the big rock solid middle with the gaseous penetrable layer, but if you try to leave it, even though it's so thin that you would die, that it creates so much pressure that you have to light on fire to get outside, almost like you're passing through a membrane or something to get to whatever is beyond the membrane, because whatever is beyond the membrane is completely different than what's inside the membrane, or much bigger, much bigger. Oh, that was the other one. Oh, the other one at the intro is who's ready to get ready for the aliens, because 256 million people is 3% of the world. And at 3% system, if you're 3% of the known, there's some like dude who thinks it's 3.5. It's between 3. It's pi, actually, what it is. Like, there's really only 2 numbers, and there's a guy, a problem, a graph. The fuck is the name of the graph? Where's graph? There's a graph that if you solve it, it's $1 million. And like, I'm sure that they have the explanation. What is the math graph that some world organization is giving $1 million to prove? And turn this on so you can read it. Oh, I have my little screen on. That's cool. All right, Brock, what are you saying? Let's close this shit down. Oh, I went expert mode. Fuck. But anyway, there's this graph that they're trying to explain. And like, they even say it in the thing that it's the Raymond's hypothesis is a graph plot of the Raymond zeta function, one of the Clay Mathematical Institute's Millennial Prize problems. Why it matters, it's given deep insight into the distribution of prime numbers. Like, prime numbers are fucking weird that people care about them so much, but they're kind of important because of the barriers of everything. But the problem with identifying prime numbers is anytime you get over 10, you're in a different system. So you got a whole bunch more numbers, and that's where my new math that I created comes in, that I wrote about. And now you can all think that I'm fucking insane. Now, remember, this is the beginning. Like, in the beginning, there's one person that's done all of this. Like, I've done all of this. That's why I call it a simulation. I've done this shit like 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Between 10,000, definitely more than 1,000, but I would not be surprised if it's more than 10,000, because 10,000 is a lot. Like, I think my thing died. Oh, that makes me sad. Well, at least oh, what'd you go and do that for? Oh, let's unplug this. Put it back in. Does it work? It appears like no. Well, I guess I'm supposed to be done. Yeah. Oh. Oh, here we go. I fucking worked it out. Look at me, fucking tech savvy. Yeah. But yeah, this is the thing. And what it is, yeah, it's all the prime numbers, but prime numbers, like, what does the number matter? Because there's only really 4 numbers that we should care about, and it's pi, 1, 2, and pi. It's just pi, 0, 1, pi. Like, once you get, it's somewhere between 2 and 4 is a number. It's not a number, it's a measurement, because that's what we really care about. And not all measurements come in numbers. And that's why we can't solve any problems beyond any, with way of trouble solving complex problems. Nah, that's not right. If you get too far away from the origin, you can't solve problems anymore. Like, that's the problem with society today. Like, our country is too big. The world is too big to have. Most countries are too big to have one entity oversee them. It's just the way it is. Like, if you expand it out, the Sean, the myself. I don't remember which one we're calling it. The id. I don't. Somebody's called it something before. I'm calling it Sean. Um, that's the me. That's the me knowing me. I know all of me, and I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Oh yeah. So I'm the me knowing me, and like, this entire third place initiative and world afterwards is, to me knowing me. So I know everything. But to you, you're not even aware that it exists yet. And that's why this is the beginning, because I'm aware of all of the possibilities, and I'm trying to convince the world, God, that's why you find God, because we are all God. God trying to tell God, hey, this is what we should do. And that's why I think comedy is God's therapy, because in therapy we say the wild shit that we can't say to other people. And I think if it was a mirror, uh, it's just a mirror. God is a mirror of society. Then comedians are the ones who stand up on stage and tell God the truth. And that's why I'm looking for money, so we can build a comedy church. I think those are the ideas I can fit in 4 minutes. I am really looking to do this though. I think I'm gonna go though. I think a half hour of me rambling about nothing is gonna. I gotta turn a half hour to 4 minutes. Fuck. Good luck. Good luck, dipshit. Um, we're getting there. I know there's like a weird mental health thing where like you shouldn't say talk bad to yourself. And I think the important thing that you're like, you're gonna hear me call myself names. Um, when I'm calling myself names, that's the tinfoil hat part of me talking to the me part of me. Like what I meant to get to in the victim skit was like that's when you get to that level of like not caring about the things that you don't care about. Fuck it, that wasn't really what I wanted to. But hey, again, as it says in one of my things, there is no action. As it says in the post, I will bring the announcement of my candidacy that I wrote in July of 2025. Yes, I think that is correct. Of me running for president, but in there it says there is no action without reaction. Um, so react with purpose, react promptly, and if possible, react